All right, in this section, we will teach you about mobility and try to explain why it is important. We will compare mobility to flexibility and argue why mobility is much more important. We will cover some key concepts and factors that limit mobility. You will also learn a few different ways you can quantify mobility. We're going to introduce an assessment you can learn. We're going to give you the basics at this level. Keep in mind, at RAD Mobility Level 2, we're going to go in depth and teach an entire 150-point screen. Okay, so after the test, step number 2, we're going to note our findings. So we'll go through some different movements, ranges of motion passively, and for the sake of level 1, we're just going to get a subjective finding. Okay, so communicate with the individual, ask them how it's feeling, and sort of note differences left to right, right to left. Number 3, we're going to do an intervention with one of the RAD Mobility products. And finally, number 4, obviously we need to retest the movement pattern we did initially. We need to make sure we're noting differences. Are we seeing a positive change? All right, guys, next up, we're going to look at shoulder part 2, the posterior aspect of the shoulder. Okay, so some common functional problems you might see, and flexion up overhead. So pretend like that arm's asleep. Let me do the work. Everything's neutral, elbow and wrist for the most part, and passively taking her up and range. Good. Okay, next off, while we're here, we're going to do that lateral rotation or external rotation flexion. So reach up and over. Your fingertips are trying to touch the scapular spine or the... So let's say I've tested left and right. We've made a comparison. We're just going to say that she had a bit of a restriction on the left side. So let's do something about it. Now you're going to love this one, and by love I mean absolutely hate in a good way. Let's get that posterior deltoid post capsule. So kind of right underneath there. That's it. Spend some time there, relax, breathe into the release. We can do that little shift up and down or side to side.